Alright, welcome to Jim's Guitar Garage. In this episode we are going to install this Bartolini pre-wired harness into a bass. So let's get started. We have our bridge ground, so we're going to take care of that next. And then all we've got to do is go ahead and put these two red wires together, which we already have the heat shrink for it right here. So we're going to go and cut a nice little piece with our nice Klein tools wire strippers. Cut a piece about this long, and what I always do is I slip it over before I even think about soldering so I don't forget. Alright, same thing. You can either dip it in if you can reach it. Just get a little bit of flux on that ground wire. Let me use the solder's helper this time. It's a much better tool, so you can also pick these up. I will put a link below if I remember to. It's actually several pieces in the kit. This is the one I prefer to use the most. It's actually got a little cleaner, and then you've got a little holder on it. So you just push your wire down and hold it in it, and it acts as doubles as a heat sink. So you don't need to use a heat sink with it. And this is probably the other one. This one you can actually, you can make that out. You can actually put the wire in between. There's a little groove in there. There we go. And then you've also got this. You can use this if you're soldering in the eye of something, like on these pots right here. You just kind of shove it in to hold the wire in place. So you've got your eye right here and your wires inside, and you shove this in, and that's going to hold that wire in place so it can't pop out. So just a few uses for that. So we're going to take this, put that down over here. So this is your, so you can get rid of that, having to have that third hand. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that's right on top. And then you just take your solder, bend it up like a little snake. Okay, let me make sure my wire is back on there. Same thing, let that solder flow. And okay. Now, red wire. Yes. Okay, now we already have a wire that's soldered onto here, so we want to get that off. There we go, we just popped it off. Okay, once again, let's cover this just to be safe. Let that cool down a little bit. So we're going to take these two wires. We're going to try and hold them together with our heat sink. All right. So same thing. Tiny drop of flux. this is going to be should be really quick. So we're going to put a little tiny drop on here, and then we're just going to drop a tiny drop from the bottom, from the top. Okay, that looked like it worked well. All right, so we simply move this to about the center. We're going to take our lighter. I think we can shut off the soldering iron. We're good there. Take our lighter, get your fabric away from it. Lift this up a little bit. Simply melt that. Turn it upside down, melt the other side. Good to go. Okay, we've got to come up with a solution to fasten this back over here in the same spot it was. Found a solution for this. We've got some type of 3M double-sided tape, and it's that foam type. So we're going to go ahead and peel that last little bit off. There's a little bit left on there. This stuff is a kind of a pain to work with, I found. And then we're just going to take it, make sure that ground is off of there, and we're just going to stick it in there. It looks like it might stick up over the cover, though. That is going to be a problem. We might have to find a new solution for that. Let's just put this stuff in here. Nope, that is definitely this little output adjustment rheostat on the top is causing problems. So we're probably just going to have to turn it sideways and maybe put it down over here, and hopefully that'll be low enough. All right, so for now, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to take these wires, and we are going to kind of cinch everything down so we don't have a lot of movement. We've got a little wire tie right here. There we go. So there we go. So you can't yank too much on that battery, and we've got to put one more little strip of foil tape over here before we put everything together. So once again, always cut this a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in, figure out where we're going to move that preamp to, and then I'll show you when I'm done with it. We're going to get ready to put this cover on. So what we did is we tightened everything up. Everything's nice and neat in there. We double checked everything, make sure it's tight. We're going to put the knobs on. What I had to do is mount this thing at about a 45-degree angle in here with a sticky tape, and it doesn't really move at all, so it's not going to go anywhere. We've run our wire here. I used the, matter of fact, I see one little spot I got to push in over here. So the other thing I mentioned to you is that you want to make sure that you check this with a multimeter. So we're going to go ahead, put this on beep. So you should hear the beep. So what we're going to do is we're going to check we're checking the ground on the pot. So you want to make sure that your shielding is all connected and your ground from your potentiometers is connected, so everything is good. So we can go ahead and button this up. So we're going to get our two screws that we actually have out, which are both different sizes for some reason. And then Go ahead and mount this cover. And then we're going to get a battery. Plug it in. And give this thing a little test run with our little practice amp. All right, so here's a moment of truth. We've got it all plugged in. Jack is in. Go ahead and turn her on. I've got a little kill switch over here. And we are rumbling and rolling. Sounds like it works. All right, so we'll finish this up, get this thing back to the customer. We're going to do, before we do that, we're going to go ahead and do a quick setup on this. We're going to check everything. If anything needs to be adjusted, I will record it for you guys. All right, but it works. All right, now that we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and, actually, you know what, let's leave those off for now. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick check on this setup. Actually, let me go ahead and tune it. We are going to check the neck straightness. So we are going to need a few tools that I have in this bag. This is my little setup kit. So the first thing you want to do is capo it at the first fret. Make sure it's capo nice and tight. I prefer to do this in playing position. So we're looking for about 18 to 20 thousandths relief. You can go as high as 22. Sorry. Neck relief, 10 to 12 thousandths. I'm thinking first fret action. Okay, so playing position, we're going to hold this down. I usually hold it down at the last fret. We're going to go at the 8th fret. Okay, the 12 is just, no. Okay, and then I check up here again at the, nope. So we're gonna have to adjust the truss rod. I'm assuming this is a 5mm truss rod, since it's made in Korea. So this is a 4. Some of these are kind of tricky. All right, and it turns. Okay, so we're tightening it to put a little bit more back bow in it. So we tighten a little at a time. And it really isn't that far off, so hopefully that little tweak did it. Okay, and there we have it. I don't know if you can see that on camera. You can see it's just going under there, so that's perfect. So let's go and put that cover back on so we don't lose that piece. All right. intonation is good. All right, let's check string height. Okay, we were sitting right at about 5/64, and then just about 3/64, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. Okay, we are right at about 3/64, so we are good. Let me check the other strings. This other one seems kind of high. Okay, I'm checking at the 17th fret. We are quite a bit above 3/64 on that string. So we are definitely going to bring that down. We want it just slightly higher than this, and then this one slightly higher, and then we're working our way up to 5/64. And actually, if you can see on this bridge, for some reason, this one right here is way high. So we're going to bring that down. Yeah, that feels good. All right, so those are perfect. So first fret action. We're looking for 18 to 22 thousandths. Action at the first fret, because you don't want this thing buzzing at the first fret, but at the same time, you don't want to have to work too hard. Yeah, that is definitely pushing. It is 18. That is the definite lowest I would go. Any lower than that, and we would have to replace that nut or put a shim underneath it. So now that we know everything is good, I'm going to undo everything, and we are going to clean this fretboard. So let me get these strings off using a winder, and then we'll clean the fretboard. Okay, the next thing that we will be doing will be brought to us by our good friends at Gorgomyte. So this is a fretboard cleaning and conditioning cloth. Use sparingly. So all you need is a piece about this big. So approximately 1 inch by 1 inch. That one's maybe slightly bigger than 1 inch. So I'm going to give you guys a close-up of this, some of these frets. There's actually not much fret wear, but I just want you guys to see how dirty they are. You'll hopefully be able to see the difference on camera. So they're kind of yellowish and brown right now. So this cleans all this garbage off of your frets, and it conditions your fretboard. I don't know if you can see this down here, but there's like a bunch of gunk on here. I don't know if that's starting to get like mildew or something on it. So basically you're just rubbing it across your frets in your fretboard. I highly recommend you wear rubber gloves. I don't know what's in this stuff, but I don't think I want it on my bare hands. That's just me. You can make your own choice. Yeah, it looks way better already. And as you can see, that yellow cloth is now quite black. Okay, so take our blue cloth, just go over everything. We're just going to clean that up. And then tune this thing back up. And this guitar is done because we already checked everything. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Aloha.